as well. Alright, so we have a bunch of captured enemy ships, and for whatever reason I cannot build new ships. Probably because I'm in uncontrollable debt because of a game bug. So, we have a bunch of enemy ships here, and I think we're going to start by building out a battleship. So I want to see what enemy battleships we have. We've got this Charles Martel that we captured. We have this Condorcet, and that one's kind of a big one. And then we also have this other, where'd it go? That one's only 11,000 tons. So, let's try doing, let's do this Condorcet first. This is going to be a big one. And this actually looks kind of interesting. It's going to be one of the captured French ships, I think. So, let's go do that first. So we're going to view this. And you can capture enemy ships, you just can't, and you can refit them. Oh, that's interesting. That's a very interesting design. You just can't do, you just can't build more of them. And you don't get the tech that you took over. So if we look at what this guy's got, I mean, 18 knots, not great. It's okay. Many bulkheads, it's better than they usually do. I don't know why they determine how they do this. I like having smaller quarters because getting all the crews difficult. I usually like a big draught and a narrow beam. We can change that in a bit. Compound armor, basic steam. This looks like an older ship, but it's big. The nice thing is it's big. It's apparently got the minimum displacement for whatever its size allows. And it's got these 13.1 inch guns on and 12.6 inch guns. I'm not sure. It's got 4 12.6 inch guns. These are single guns up on the side there. That's a bold choice. We're going to do a lot of changes to this thing. It's going to take a long time to rebuild. So first off, everything is upset when we build this out. Now, first we have to decide what are we going to use this thing for. I mean, I'm stuck right now that I can't build new ships. I need tonnage for invasion, but a few things that we're going to definitely do. We're going to drop the crew quarters. We don't need a lot of that. I want to make it big, so I'm going to give it more draught. And I want to maximize the bulkheads. I want this thing to go 21 knots if possible, or at least 20. That might be hard. So let's go give it tech and see if we can drop the weight. Crump armor. Want an unbalanced rudder. So we want reinforced bulkheads, because the bulkheads are probably the most important part of the ship, because that keeps all the bad things from happening. And we've got these, this 8.6 inch gun up front. We're going to drop that. And I really don't want these large wing guns, because they're just a bit much. So let's go ahead and drop these. That's 13 inch gun in the back. It's a Mark II. We can do something with that. We've got all these little gun turrets up here. So it looks like this is a fixed piece of equipment. I can't do anything about that. So can we move this back? We want to move the main tower back as far as we can. And we can scooch that in a little bit, see if we can. Now I wonder if it's possible to move it further back if we get rid of those guns. Probably not. No, I think that's what we're stuck with. And now this is a front tower 6, and that looks like it's the best we can get. Your front tower is super important because that's what gives you your spotting. And this is why I usually like the best front tower I can get. Now your rear tower, and these are all just like big chunky guns that are just taking up space, and they're not really... The rear tower's not super important. And these extra funnels there, let's see if we can do 21 knots. I think we can. We might even be able to do 22. Yeah, we'll have to figure out the armor and other things. Oh yeah, first off, we want Conic 2, or the Coincidence 2, we want the radio. We want to go with TNT, it's good for battleships. It doesn't explode very much. We want to go with our increased ammo. And I'm probably going to do semi-armor piercing. We want to go maximum high explosive, because we're mostly fighting small ships. So we're going to be gearing this to mostly fight small ships. And we want to be relatively fast. We're doing a lot of minor nation stuff, where we want to be able to run away from battles we don't want. So, most of our ships are going 21 knots. Now we could reduce the beam down, and maybe that'll help, or maybe we jack the beam up. So if we jack the beam up, we only have, 1,300 tons of free space. If we jack it down, we have 3,000 or so tons of free space. And we might even be able to get this going even faster if we do that. So we want to make sure we have enough deck armor and all this stuff. Now, as far as our funnels go, let's see what kind of funnels we have. This is a short enhanced funnel 3. 6.5, and this one's a 7.3 for more weight. We might try just taking that off, and that fits in there. That's a possibility. Now also, if we put these 3.4-inch guns back, these are some nice gun turrets here. There's a lot of forward weight offset, which I'm not sure how I want to deal with that yet. Now one of the things, I'm going to drop these turrets off real quick, and it's a Cruiser Secondary Tower 3, which I'm not sure what the benefit... 2.5 accuracy, 2.2 accuracy, or it's a 2, it's a 3, it's a 2, 2.5, and 3. So I'm not really sure what's the benefit of these. It weighs less. That has better damage control. So other than that, it seems to be mostly a damage control thing, and there's some weight. Now sometimes you can take these towers, you can put them in different places. And so what we might try doing is, like, we could put this cruiser tower, we could put it right here if we wanted, in the middle. And the reason you consider doing that is sometimes you can take a barbette and you can put something like right up here, and then you can get extra guns. Which we might be able to put barbettes in the middle also. And this might be kind of useful too. So we're going to explore some options for putting in some barbettes where they have these, because we might be able to put some other secondary guns here. So like, we could take some, let's just say, arbitrarily 8-inch guns that has a really bad fire arc, for example. If we go with a 5-inch gun, so this middle thing has a bad fire arc. You can go a tall barbette, for example. Oh, this seems to... We can put a tall barbette there. Now that might be interesting. So if we were to put... That still has kind of a bad fire arc. So we can play around some of the barbettes and find interesting things to do. It looks like that's our only option. It won't let us put any barbettes anywhere else. We could put something here. It won't let us do... I really love these wide barbettes, but they haven't been working recently since the new patch. So I think something might have happened to him. But maybe it's worth putting this little, now if we were to put this further back here, now it could also be that these boats are just getting, yeah, those boats are getting in the way. So that might be problematic. And if we try to put a small, we could put a small tower here, for example. And let's say we put a, so we could put a secondary, like a big secondary gun there. Or we could go with like a 5-inch gun. So we've got, see, I like exploring some options. Hey, Turpits. So, what's our role going to be for this ship? Primarily, we want this to, we do want to be able to hit other big ships. I mean, these 13-inch guns are nice, but I'm not going to be able to put... Looks like I can't put anything super big up here. Now, another option is I've got these Mark III 11-inchers. So I could fit that there. Now, that's a possibility. And we could maybe even supersize it, try and take it to like an 11.9. So we could do something like this, and that's got a pretty chunky, it's a pretty chunky gun. That's super heavy up front. So instead of going with these 13s, we could go with a couple of 11.9s. And now our forward weight offset is huge. Why is our forward weight so big? Probably just because we have this one funnel up here. Now, we probably want to take another, big funnel back there. We could do something like this. I wonder if we made the 8-inch gun bigger. Now, if we move this tower, sometimes we can put these cruiser towers. If we were to put the tower back here, for example, this would give this gun. It still has the same firing arc, so there's no point in putting the cruiser tower back there to maximize our funnels. Now this doesn't seem to, I mean, we got these 3 funnels here, that doesn't seem to be doing too well. Now another option is we got these smaller funnels, and we could always try stacking these up. That's pretty good. And we could even try... Can we squeeze one more in here? No, we can't. We could do that. And that's got a hell of a forward weight offset. Can we do anything with the tower back here? Oh, you know what we could do? We could put the tower up there. And then we could take maybe a bigger funnel here. Not quite perfect. So that's a 6. That's a 5. That's a 7.3. Hey, luxury. So, we're trying to figure out how to make this battleship work with what we want. The goal is we want to be able to take out mostly cruisers, and we want to go pretty quick. And this is pretty quick. I mean, 22 knots is fast. We try and give it a big range, but I don't think we need that long of a range. And I could drop it to 21 knots, get better engine efficiency. But if we can do 22 knots, that's going to keep this thing relevant for a while. And then the question is, how do we squeeze on more stuff? Because this has only a... Oh, you know what we can do? There we go. Put a tower back there. Because if we don't have it... Yeah, I mean, that spot's getting obstructed anyway. And this gives us a forward offset of 5.7. That's a lot better. And gives us a nice engine efficiency. And this is 148 tons versus 75. So if we want to get snarky, what we can do is we can take the bigger tower. Actually, can we put... I don't think we can put that back there. No, that's too big. We do that. It doesn't seem to affect the... So we're going to put the heavier stuff in the back. And then we'll try doing these... lighter towers there. Now we only have a forward offset of... Wait, of 6. I think we were better before, weren't we? Let's go try this again. Can we scooch you back a little further? No, that's as far back as it's going to get. Huh. Alright, that's as much as we're gonna get. Can we go 23? No. 22.5? We can. At some point, because of the ship's hydrodynamic characteristics, your water resistance starts to pick up, and there comes a certain velocity where it just starts getting more and more inefficient, and we don't know what that is. So if we go from 22 to 22.1, we're seeing a jump of about 110 tons. 22.2, we're going about 200 tons. Oh no, 100 and... Let's see. You have 120, 130. 22.3, about 120. 22.4, it's about 140. 22.5. Oops, I missed. About 140. 22.6. 22.7. 22.8. So 22.8, there's a huge jump. Alright, so that's where we're hitting our hydrodynamic wall. So at 22.7 knots, this is as fast as this ship can go and still be somewhat efficient. So now let's talk about weight saving, okay? We've got our two main guns, and we got this big-ass secondary gun. And we might even be able to squeeze in a turret down there. But to do that, we'll probably have to... try and squeeze you in there. And then you there. Okay, so... let's go put our 8 back up on top. And this is a Mark II. I think all of these are Mark IIs, yeah. And we're going to make this 8-inch gun as big as we can make. Now under here, we could put maybe something. And there might not be enough room. So we could... No, there's not enough room. It's too... so it's not even worth trying to do that. It's not going to work. So we're probably good enough for there. I mean, we could put maybe like a single gun. I don't want to put something out here, because if we put something out here, that's going to... Well, let's see. So this, without anything, angles right through to there. We can't do the 2-inch like that. If we were to put a 2-inch there, yeah, that gives us a little bit of firing arc. We'd want to probably bring it in just a little bit. Or to do something like this, for example. That doesn't get in the way, and that gives a little bit more rear weight offset. We can make these 2.9s, which tend to be a little bit higher performing. I really like the 2.9s. I'm very biased about those. And on these 3-inch guns, so if we look and compare, the 2.9s have a range of 11.6 kilometers high explosive, and 3.4s have a shorter range. And the 3.4s we have given max... Oh, no, we haven't. There we go. So, they have max barrel length. So, 10 kilometers versus 11.6. So, the 2s have a longer range and at 5,000 meters, 2.5 accuracy versus 4.2. The 2.9s are more accurate. So that's why I like the 2.9s. Now if we jack this up to 3.9, that's 2.6 versus 4.2. The 2.9s still outperform. And so, and they weigh less than the 3.9s. They actually weigh less than the 3s. So these are really just for tearing up small ships. And the other options, we go with like 5-inch guns, which are historically really nice guns. We could put some 5-inchers on the side. But if we do the 5-inchers on the side, we get a single 5-inch, or we can get dual 2.9s. And so most of what we've been fighting are smaller ships. We've been dealing with a lot of torpedo boat swarms and light cruisers. And so you have to know what you're fighting. While we might do bigger guns in the future, these 2.9s, we might not do semi-armor piercing. I might do proper cap ballistic. And that gives them enough armor penetration to punch through kind of light stuff. I mean, it'll certainly nail destroyers and torpedo boats. On our bigger guns, like on the 7-inch, this'll punch through small battleships, definitely punch through cruisers. And that will also, if we go semi on this is still good for cruisers. And this is still good for most cruisers also. So really, we're gearing towards like a torpedo boat threat and a destroyer threat. So what I'm kind of tempted to do is I'm kind of tempted to take all these 3.4s off, and we're going to replace them with 2.9s. They've got this middle gun area, but that's not going to really... Now, I could try to put some single guns here. So, these have a limited firing arc as it is. I could put that there, and it doesn't really affect it. Now that's one option. Other option is I say screw it to these. I go with good old 5-inch guns and just have single 5-inch guns, and these things are going to just spank stuff. And if we go with the longer barrel length, because we like longer barrel length, more accuracy. Now if we compare, this 5-inch gun has a range of 13.8 kilometers, and it's going to hit things pretty hard. It only fires 2.3 shots per minute, whereas this thing's firing way more shots. It's firing twice the shots, and we have twice the guns. So it's firing 4 times the shots. So as far as like raw damage goes, we're doing 88 damage times 4 essentially. About 350 damage, let's say, in the same time. In the same amount of time that this thing's doing 224. So I mean, it's gonna fire a lot faster, and so maybe. So this is kind of the decision we have to make. Then as far as weight-wise goes, one 5-inch weighs more than two 2.9s. So maybe we just go with just a wall of small shells, but this has a longer range. This will be better against cruisers, right? So that's kind of our trade-off. Now I know the Mark III 2.9s are coming out soon. We don't have them yet, and I don't want to wait that long to get the battleship. And then the other thing we could look at doing, I mean, if we put small guns there. Oh, that's interesting. If we put small guns here, that doesn't seem to affect the firing angle. That's awfully interesting. What happens if we put... We put a 5-inch there. I think I found my solution. Look at that. Look at that. I can have a 5-inch gun with a nice arc of fire, and then I can have these 2 little dinky guns. And so one of the nice things about captured enemy ships is you can explore possibilities. And so what we're going to do is we're going to give it a mix. We're going to go for the 5 inches. Let's go turn this other one around. There we go. So we're going to go for the 5-inch gun like that. And then we're going to go for these single 2.9s. And that gives us our maximum firepower against small ships. And this thing is just a fortress. One of the cool things about the French ships is they do some crazy stuff. And we want some more rear weight offset. So what we can do is we can go stick some of these try to find the right spot for them, because we don't have room for a double-barreled gun, but we can put Can we fit you further back, maybe? No, so right there. Alright, so this doesn't affect our Top Gun's area, field of fire. We got these 3-inch casemate guns, which are a little bit weird. I don't know how many of these we can. We only put one there. That's not really. It's not really worth it. If we do 2-inch casemate guns, we just have that one spot. It's not. And we can do if we have extra. If we have extra stuff. Now we can also put. We can also put some of these up here for just more DACA. It gives me some front weight that I don't necessarily want. We could put some of these here, which that's sort of a weird firing arc, and it's firing backwards. I don't know if it's going to fire through the ship or not. It probably will, but I don't... Let's take those off for now, and I may take these off just for balance reasons. So, as far as these big guns go, these 11-inch guns, I do want some good barbettes. And we're gonna be overweight. Let's go take off these. We don't need that. I may almost take these off, but those are nice guns. So I could drop the speed a little bit if I have to, but I really want to go fast because that's something we're not going to really change much later. Let's see how else we can kind of tweak this. We could probably do away with the anti-torpedo, with the torpedo protection. Right now in early torpedoes, they're not very long range. We're dealing with stuff that's like under 3 kilometers in range. So we're not going to get torpedoed that much. So I think we can sacrifice that a little bit. And because having the turret armor, I think is important. Maybe we just go 5 inches on this. So this is kind of getting there, where we're approaching, you know, a pretty chunky battleship. We still need to balance it out, so we're going to drop some of the forward belt's a little bit much. We got a lot of superstructure. I don't like how they have their armor laid out. I really want... We're going to have to sacrifice a little bit of main belt. So now the aft weight offset is... we can go maybe put these back on there. And go less superstructure, which is kind of a thing. Hey, other guy. We are looking at... I'm doing a video on refitting a French battleship. Captured French battleship. So... And we could save a lot of weight by lowering the speed, but our speed and being able to catch what we're chasing is really important. Because we're going to have this guy command a group of small ships, I think. And we can drop that down a little bit. So now we're just shaving a little bit of weight. I also want more main deck if I can. I really want to have at least like 4 inches of main deck, but that may not be possible. But that does give me a lot of nice weight, nice balance. So I think we're going to drop the inner deck to ½ an inch. And this is really, really close. Now, I could try moving this gun back, but I don't think that's a good idea. I don't want to move this gun back. We could try scooting that back a little bit. And we could try scooching that back a little bit. Try to get... There we go. So now it's perfectly balanced. Now we just need to drop the weight just a little bit more. We're going to have to sacrifice some main deck weight, I think, which is too bad. But we still have really good pitch and roll. Our conning tower sucks. We'll grab whatever we can, but we're not super concerned about the safety of French captains. Yeah, this isn't Schizomeds. This is a French ship. So, this gives us a reasonable, fast-ish battleship for 1903. Going 22.7 knots, which is really fast for battleship. And we've cleared all this extra funnel real estate by stacking the secondary tower as small as possible right behind the main tower and shifting a lot of the weight backwards. You can see here in the weight diagram that our center of mass is perfect and the engines are more to the back. We've got all this other gun stuff up front, and we've got this arsenal of smaller secondary guns for taking out cruisers and torpedo boats. It's going to be kind of a mishmash. This is definitely a pre-Dreadnought battleship because it's got a mishmash of guns. It's just kind of a floating fortress, and it is awesome. Not the most ridiculous thing, but I think this is good enough. And as we get better technology, we'll be able to rebuild it. We'll give it a better name. Oh, 1904. I'm sorry. It's 1904. And we've... what's our flash fire chance? We want to check that. Our flash fire chance is 26.7, which isn't bad. And by down gunning from the 13s to the 11s, these are the Mark III 11-inch guns. Now, we made them the 11.9s, because a Mark III 11.9, I think, is going to be better than a Mark II 12-inch gun. It'll weigh a little bit more, but some of that weight is also because of all the extra armor that we put on. We armored the hell out of these guns compared to the default armor. If we were to look at a 12-inch, if we were just to click a 12-inch gun, the default armor on the 12-inch gun is less than 5 inches and a 0.6-inch barbette and a 0.6-inch top, right? We have twice the armor on the sides, 4 times the armor on the top, and 10 times, 12 times the armor in the barbette. So that's also why the gun's so heavy. So I'm going to call this good. We're going to save this. And then I'm going to go build some more, but this is kind of your tutorial video on this is how I look at viewing how to build captured enemy ships. I have a very... Yes, Lorenzo's going to go to the hospital when he sees this. You might also check out the other video I made where Lorenzo saw how I murdered the captured Italian cruiser. And that's a short video of me basically laughing while he's freaking out. It's wonderful. He's such a good sport. Lorenzo's an actual Italian naval officer, and so he tends to get confused at some of the crazy things you can do. So, we have our purpose. Our purpose is we want a fast ship that can lead a group of small, fast ships on hit-and-run type attacks, and primarily for capturing territories, small territories. This is not for big pitched battles. We're not doing big pitched battles. I don't trust the ship enough to do a big pitched battle. And it's primarily designed to kill small ships, which is why it has all this plethora of just little guns in its center castle area. So, there you have it. Thank you very much for watching. And I will continue my stream, but I'm going to end this little short video. And maybe we'll make another ship.